It does feel like it's been a couple weeks. Really thankful that we got to start our first game at home. Everybody, on the team is there on the sidelines. It was the first time we had a crowd, in 2 years. And so being on the road has its advantages, but there's definitely disadvantages. 2 flights. And now, being home against Texas State, we're super excited about that back in the factory. Whole team will be back together again, and definitely want to shout out the Hall of Fame inductees, and obviously in particular Jason Jones. He's been really good to us in my time here, and he's been good to Eastern Michigan ever since he set foot on campus, and just really appreciate him and excited for him.
Dave, you want to open us up with some questions?
Chris, has Bennett, does he emerge as your number one guy now? And also talk about, obviously, you've been getting some really good ground game work out of Jawon Hamilton. And also, if you could talk about Baedoon, because wasn't he a one-time walk-on, the Baedoon kid from?
Yeah. All right, Dave, thanks for joining. 3 different things there. So played both quarterbacks really in all 3 games. Really played them more evenly in the first 2. And then we just got off to a really good start there, with Ben. And so played him the vast majority of the game this last week. Like I've said, I just really believe you need 2 quarterbacks, and we've got 2 really good ones. And so, we'll see how that continues to flesh itself out. Jawon Hamilton had a great game, and there's more to come. We just think that our running back group is a huge strength for us. They're all a little bit different. They all bring something, special to the table, if you will. And Jawon, you've seen in the 2 games he's played, just as the electricity he brings. He plays so hard, so fast, and has an awesome burst. And, he is super motivated. He's a perfect fit for our program on and off the field, and he's off to a fantastic start. And then Hassan Baedoon, I'm telling you, it's an absolutely phenomenal story. He walked onto the team, but he was unrecruited. He was already a student here. He's from Dearborn, Michigan, and was just a student at Eastern Michigan, and we have open walk-on tryouts in February. And so Haas showed up in the bubble one day when it was freezing cold, and took him through drills with a number of other guys, and thought we could use some more skill guys going into spring ball and whatnot, and so invited him to come and finish out the rest of the winter conditioning, and then just through spring, and we would see how things went. And he's put on a ton of muscle, ton of good body weight in the past few years. And I'll tell you what, it was the end of 19 when we were getting ready for Pitt. We had a couple extra weeks of bowl prep, and we really liked attacking their safety to the field, which essentially ended up being man coverage, the way that Pitt plays their defense. And we had our own little tryout, if you will, with Matt Sexton and Arthur Jackson and Haas, and tried to get just a couple different looks and ways we wanted to try to beat this safety. And Haas had played throughout the year and had done a good job, but it was during the bowl prep where he really emerged as like, hey, he's the guy that we really want to get in man-on-man situations with that safety. And we ended up Christmas morning, the day before the game, he earned his scholarship, and so the next day, I think he had 9 catches and 113 yards versus an All-American safety, and he has not looked back since, and just a huge part of our team and our program.
Thanks a lot. What comes out when you look at the film of Texas State?
What do you see on film from Texas State?
Well, Texas State, we think that they look a little bit different than what we watched and prepared for this spring and summer. Not as different on offense, probably more on defense, but they've just got some major weapons offensively. Their quarterback is dangerous. I mean, he can really run. He is a twitchy guy, and he's got a cannon of an arm, and he's not afraid to use it. So he is absolutely dangerous. And then, our defensive staff thinks that their running back group might be the strength on their offense. Just really good backs, and it's not just one. It's a group of them that are really, really, really good. Wide receiver's been their calling card, so that hasn't changed. I mean, they in the past they've really gone fast and they really stretched the field. And again, that quarterback's got the ability to get it to guys who can run and go get it. But then maybe the biggest transformation is that they had everybody back from what we understand on their offensive line and brought in a pretty good sized transfer group, and some of those transfers are playing, and so they've really improved their depth and gotten better overall in their offensive line. So we're going to have to defend the run and the pass with a very dangerous quarterback. Defensively, they had played with a lot of space in the secondary in years past, that three high safety look, and they're doing that some now, but a lot more man and just taking space out of the game and playing a lot more even front where they were more exclusively in the Okie. And they've got really good athletes. They play fast and they play really hard, and they just seem to be, all over the field. So we've got our work cut out for us on both sides of the ball for sure. I mean, this is going to be, one of those games, Dave, where we're going to have to be at our best in all three phases. We're going to have to be locked in. We're going to have an unbelievable week of preparation, and we're going to have to bring it on Saturday. And all of those things come together, then we're going to have a chance to compete. This is going to be a tough football game.
Thanks a lot.
You look at your defense, and you once able to get some strong performance by underclassmen in David Carter getting another interception, and how have you seen their growth as a group from each of these first 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're really probably talking about our secondary, safeties and corners, when you go back to a year ago and the people who are coming back and the people who've been in and out, and some of our guys have been out and some are coming back. And so we've really had to rely, on everyone. And I'll tell you this, that we've been not pleasantly surprised, but we feel really good about our young depth. We feel really good about, the guys who, some of which are playing maybe sooner than what we or what they had expected. And it ends up being a blessing, You have guys out there at, in the first game of the year, and you have guys out there at Wisconsin and that atmosphere and getting on planes and going to UMass and playing. And so it helps you, in the long run, and hopefully we'll end up getting guys back. It's so good to have Noski back. And Aaron Hamilton, Dennis Smith on offense. I mean, there's just guys that have, been out who hadn't played that are back. And so it serves us well, going into it. You want everybody healthy and ready to go.
Another young face that a lot of Eagle fans haven't got to see yet, Zach Westmoreland, almost had his first 100-yard day in game number 2 of his career. He's somebody that Eagle fans can take a watch for in the future, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, Zach, he got here in January. We're super excited about him. He's another guy who's been here long enough now just to know that he's a great fit, for our university and for our program. And then, here he is, as a freshman, playing and playing well. We tried to recruit maybe some bigger and longer bodies, at the wide receiver position from, what we had on our team, because they're so good that what we had, but, just didn't have the length and some of the just the size, And so here's Zach out there, as a freshman, and he's got length and he's a bigger guy. He can body people and he's just got great hand-eye. And so he's already, made a significant impact. And he's got so much more, to go. I mean, he's just going to get better and better.
Coach, 42% of your total offensive yards this year have come via the run. That's 10% higher than a year ago, 12% higher than in 2019. 91% of your touchdown plays have come via the run, which is astronomically higher. I know you've talked for a long time about wanting to bump those numbers up to make sure that the run game is as dangerous in the past. Can you describe how important it is and what it does for an offense to be able to run the ball at will like you guys have been doing so far through 3 games?
Well, we didn't run it at will for all 3. I don't know if we've run it at will at all. Our efficiency, we've gotten our goal in our run game efficiency 2 out of the 3 games. It's a combination. Coach Blaney, Coach Coughlin, Coach Sewell have really taken over coordinating the run game and are doing a fantastic job. And then, it always starts with the offensive line. And we miss Jake Donlin, but we've got depth there and we have experience. We've got some big, strong bodies with good feet, that have the right demeanor and are excited about, running the football. And then our tight ends, again now, the group that we're playing right now, they're not, sort of the skinny basketball players that you hope put on strength and learn how to block. Thomas Odukoya, is an absolute beast. And then, Bryson, you saw him on that fade ball. He's got the ability to run and catch it, and then he's also, got the ability to block and does it at a high level. And so, and then I just told you about our backs, right? We can keep people honest in the pass game. That's all there as well, and quarterbacks that can keep you honest. So I think it's, multiple factors that has enabled our run game to get off to a better start.
Can you talk a little bit about a guy, I think, with Westmoreland the last 2 weeks having the most explosive play in terms of receiving, Hassan having another 100-yard game, his 5th of his career. A guy that's kind of casually been a huge piece, though, is Dylan Drummond, who's back. How much, he puts up 70-plus yards again against UMass. How much has it been helpful to you guys to have, again, and just another piece like a Dylan Drummond, who really on paper has been down the list in terms of production, but he's been key for your team.
Oh, he's the rock. He is, we still have him for this year and another year, but, not having any senior wide receivers, he's really our senior wide receiver. He'll be that for, the next 2 years. And so, Haas has taken care of all the duties on the inside, and Dylan is just, a lot of our defensive players will tell you that Dylan Drummond's our best wide receiver. He's just such an excellent route runner. He's so smart. He catches everything, thrown to him, and he knows our offense inside and out. And so he is a crucial piece to our offense.
Last one for me, 35 points so far this season off of turnovers. How important is that for what you guys are trying to do? I know the turnover battle for you is a big, big calling card for success on the field. Well,
the first 2 games, we were even, in the turnover takeaway. And last week we won it, and it's a pretty big deal, because that sudden change, we put our defense in a tough spot, and it was 28-14. They had a little bit of momentum, and then 2 plays later we take it back away and then went down and scored to make it 35-14. That it could have been a 1-possession game, and so taking the ball away and taking care of the ball cannot be overstated. And everybody talks about it. Everybody wants to do those 2 things. It's just, do you have the ability on game day, to make those things happen? Now, to be honest with you, I think we should have been +2. I still haven't seen the TV copy, but and then we would have had that ball down on the 1 or 2 yard line. And so, if we've got 35 points over turnovers, I'm hoping that it would have been 42. But it is what it is. But yeah, we've got to do a great job. These guys have forced turnovers big time. I think they have 9 in 3 games, and if I'm not mistaken, and that is super scary. So if we don't take care of the ball, it's going to be a long, hard day for us.
And you've talked about Jawon's ability on the field. Give us a little background on getting him here to Eastern Michigan and what he's meant to the program as a person in fitting into that running back room in just the short time that he's been here?
Well, we had an injury in spring, that made us sort of, late say, hey, look, we need to bring in a mature, accomplished running back to fit in with our group, which is relatively really young. And, we could not have found a better person and player for our team program, in offense than Jawon Hamilton. And I mean that sincerely. He's fantastic. He's from Miami. Was the Dade County Player of the Year. Anybody knows anything about football in Florida or Miami or Dade County? I mean, that's an unbelievable accomplishment in and of itself. And started as a freshman at UCF. Got injured at the beginning of his second year, and that was their glory year. And then was at a phenomenal program at James Madison. So got him as a grad transfer. And, for me, and I think for our program, the fit is just so important. You can have a really accomplished running back who just thinks he's better than everybody and, walks in here, and it's just not going to work. His confidence is unbelievable, but his humility matches it. And immediately, Darius Boone and all of those guys just, immediately. The guys are like so excited for him. It's not like, who's this new guy, doing this. And so he's just been a pleasure to coach. That again, that's on and off the field. And I think the best is yet to come.
Chris, I know this has nothing to do with this year's team, but what does Max Crosby mean to your program? Because he's really having a great start, to this season. And when people watch the NFL and see that he played at Eastern Michigan, they might look and say, wow, you know what I mean? That's almost like he learned a lot of that program, kind of helped him get there.
Oh gosh, so we're so proud of Max. He's in his third year. He was voted captain, so not everybody knows that. He's captain of the Raiders. In the offseason, they have an off-season award for, most improvement in the offseason, hardest working and whatnot. He won that award, right? He was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week in week 1. I think he had 13 pressures and 2 sacks and 2 tackles for a loss, and then, played really well again last night and helped the Raiders get a victory. So he's so connected with so many of our guys, played with him still, and he's just awesome. We're so proud of him, and he's shared to the whole world who he is, and more than just pressuring quarterbacks and other ways that he's leading and battling, and just can't tell you how proud we are of him in every way. But it's not just Max, Pat O'Connor won last year's Super Bowl, and he did it by beating Andrew Wiley, who won the Super Bowl the year before, and Darius Jackson, has been on a bunch of different, teams and whatnot. And, Matt Sexton is someone still got to pick him up. He's proven that he can do it. And, the list goes on, but, so yeah, so many of our guys, their goal is to play in the National Football League, and we have guys doing that and doing it at a high level, and we're super proud of them.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Dave.
Jawon?
All right, Jawon. Go get him.
Jawon, start us off by just filling us in on what your experience so far has been like at Eastern Michigan, and how you're feeling after a couple weeks with the team and 3 games in.
Oh man, it's been nothing short of but exciting, man. The guys brought me in, and immediately I felt like I've known these guys forever. And then especially just team activities and stuff. We actually went to Pikes Peak in the summer with Coach Creighton and other guys on the staff, and You know, that was phenomenal. That's something I'll never forget. You know, 20 years down the line, I'll be able to tell my kids, you know, I climbed up a mountain at 4 a.m. in the morning and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, I'm just proud to be here, man, and I'm proud of the team I'm surrounded by and the coaches I'm being coached by and just the atmosphere here. You know, it's just amazing.
Dave, do you have anything for Jawon?
Yeah, could you talk about your journey, because it's been pretty impressive. James Madison, obviously one of the top programs in their division, and now on your decision to come to Eastern, talk about that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Talk about on your decision to get to Eastern Michigan. How did you get there after playing at James Madison and stuff?
Oh man, you know, so I was at, you know, at first I started at UCF, and you know, like Coach said, you know, I started as a freshman. I was there, had pretty good production my freshman year, and sophomore year ended up breaking my ankle, and then you know, I thought it was best for a change, you know, so once I went through that whole process, you know, I ended up transferring to James Madison, which is another great university at the FCS level, and you know, I went in my first year. I was a kick returner, and I made all conference team for that. Didn't produce much on offense, but I think I did my job on special teams. And my second year, I was a third team all conference running back, sharing the room with a great group of guys for the past 2 years. And then now I'm here, man. I'm just fortunate to be here, and you know, I just felt it was best. I just kind of wanted to go out with a bang, you know, like just basically go out on the same level I came, man. You know, so I just felt like it was a family decision on me just coming back up to the FBS level and putting my talents to use on this level, and you know, just putting myself in the best position to be successful.
Thank you.
What was it specifically about Eastern Michigan and Coach Creighton that kind of drew you to this is the place you were gonna come make that change in?
Oh man, just the way they recruited me. I remember like from day one, I had a nice conversation with Coach Sewell. We were texting a little bit, and, you know, before we actually got to talk on the phone, and you know, we kind of set up a Zoom call from there. And then, you know, once I got the offer, we set up a Zoom call. And then when I got on Zoom, it was like with all the coaches. You know, it was very exciting just to see how excited they were about me, and you know, telling me how much of a fit I would be to this program, and you know, how I can come and you know, contribute to this team. And you know, I just felt like it was a great opportunity for me. It was a great opportunity for me, and you know, so I just, you know, stuck with it. You know, trusted God, and just, you know, went out from there.
Some guys might not like it if they get to a place and they're in a running back room where really 3 or 4 guys could be the guy. You don't mind it, do you? I mean, what does it mean to you to have guys like Samson and Darius and Bryson? Like, you guys are all getting touches because you're all deserving of touches.
Oh man, it's amazing. You know, the running back room is fantastic, man. You got guys like Darius Boone. I remember when I first got here, one thing about Darius, my first 2 days here, Darius already had me in the playbook from day one. You know, that just shows the type of guy he is, the type of leader he is. And you know, he's one of those guys, man. It just brought me in like family. And Samson and Bryson, all of those guys, man, we're just like a family right now, man. And we can count on one another and help each and every, you know, help us in every aspect of our game. And you know, we just get each other better. You know, we compete day in and day out. You know, tell each other what we see, what we don't see, and you know, just kind of build off of that. So you know, it's a family type atmosphere here, a family type room in a running back room. And I also have to give a big ups to Coach Sewell, man. He's a great guy too, a great leader for our group. And you know, I feel like, you know, us as players, we're just putting it together. You know, led by Darius Boone, and you know, just the way he carried himself and how he have that will to just want to lead.
And what about, I know it's rare, not a lot of teams have maybe even one quarterback that they feel like is playing at a high level. You guys are lucky enough to have 2. What's it like to, you know, run behind having, you know, Ben Ryan and Preston Hutchinson that can both offer some great things as quarterbacks? Oh,
it's amazing. Both of those guys, man, they, you know, great guys, man. Off the field, I feel like we all have great relationships with those guys, and you know, they're team guys, and you know, just the things they bring to the table, man, it just makes you wanna, just go out and fight for those guys, as leaders of our program, being in the quarterback room. And, I just feel like, we have our guys, and, we ready, we can compete on any level. So, we just have to continue to put it together.
And then would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your offensive line. They've been pretty good helping you guys open up some holes.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know how I almost left that out. But the offensive line is amazing. Those guys are they come in and day out and, just compete and take it day by day, and, which leads over to the game. This past game, I feel like we produced pretty good, and, in the rushing game. So, we can't do it without those guys up front. The tight end room, all 5 of the offensive linemen, even, the backups, just everyone, man. I just feel like, coaches had a great game plan, and, we practiced it day in and day out and went out on Saturday and executed it. So, and it starts up front, like Coach Creighton said. So, that was just great to see.
Every coach will tell you at the start of the season, we want to win a championship, this and that. What's it like? What's the tone in the locker room been this last couple of weeks? I mean, are you guys hungry for more?
Oh yes, but we're definitely hungry for more. But we feel like it's important to take it game by game. Go 1-0 each week. Last week it was last week, and the game before that was the game before that. So now we're focused on Texas State and doing what we have to do to be successful versus those guys. They're a great football team, and we know we have to bring it Saturday and complete lights out to get the results that we want to get.
Dave, you